Hey guys, it's Alexis back at it again with another video. I hope that y'all had a great weekend, whenever you're watching this. And thank you guys so much for clicking on the video. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for giving me so much love and hate on the video I had with Sam and Jacob. And I just want to have a disclaimer that this is just merely gay gossip. This is astrology. This is a channel where we uncover, the astrological relationship dynamics between people, looking at transits, looking at all things that have to do with astrology, pop culture, and politics, right? I am not I'm not laughing at it, but I'm like I have this light in my eye that's like blinding me a little bit. So I'm gonna put her right here. But I just want to say that I am not somebody that is, wanting to encourage extramarital affairs or, get too much into someone's personal history. I'm merely just interpreting what I see in the charts and, having a teaching moment and also learning. This is not a channel where I want to spread false rumors or narratives or hurt people in the process of, having fun and connecting with the fandom and connecting with the community. So that's just not what I'm here to do. And I just want to set that as a precedent for this channel moving forward, that this is not the gospel. This is not cemented fact. This is just, mere interpretation, right? This is for entertainment purposes only. Okay. And if you are somebody that is triggered by tarot, astrology, divination, all of those things, please sign up. I'm not trying to upset you or trigger you. This is not channel for that. We are merely here having fun and looking at the dynamics in an astrological sense, right? And let me just shift this down. And by all means necessary, I am, I want to, set the stone for having a moral inclination when looking at certain birth charts, okay? I'm not saying that what I say is fact. I just look at it and I'm like, okay, this could be interpreted this way, right? So yes, I just want to let that be known. Disclaimer, this is for entertainment purposes only, okay? I really appreciate y'all. It's Mercury retrograde. It's Mercury retrograde in my 5th house in Virgo. Like, y'all was chewing me up. But I'm letting y'all know that I'm not doing this with ill intent. I'm not here to, spark any rumors or hurt anybody. This is just merely gay gossip, okay? Gay gossip with Alexis, y'all. Okay, so I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. But I really wanted to get into Assad and Eric Bogosian's birth charts and their synastry with each other, because these are the characters that are going to be highlighted in the next upcoming season of Interview with the Vampire, or the Vampire Lestat. I don't know which one they're going to highlight them. Probably interview. I mean, Vampire Lestat, probably going to be with that. But if you read the books, you already know the dynamic. You already know the tea. But I'm not gonna say too much. But people have been hinting at their just their dynamic that are upcoming. There have been so many interviews of Assad, and he's like, I can't wait to go. This old man. And Eric is just like, yeah, period. And shout out to whoever commented that they wanted their synastry. So I wanted to give y'all a video and just look into it a little bit more and just kiki live with y'all, because that's all we can do. Like, I'm in the fandom too, y'all. I'm in the fandom. Like, I be seeing what y'all be posting on Twitter. I be seeing the fanfics, and I'm like, I can't have a little birth chart analysis, a little birth chart interpretation. That kind of seems anti-black. Like, I'm just kidding. But I'm fuck with y'all. I fuck with y'all. I hope y'all fuck with me. I'm not trying to break up no happy home. That is not the case here. We are just merely looking into the astrology and having a good time while doing it, right? This is not the gossip. This is not the gospel. And they have access to free will, right? You can have amazing chemistry with somebody and not act on it. You know what I'm saying? And you don't need to be an astrologer to see the type of chemistry that these niggas got. Like, Honestly, the way that these actors have poured their love and their dedication and their passion into this project has is the reason why the show has performed so well and that it's touched so many people, to the amount that it has, right? And the fact that it's garnered this really, really diehard fan base and this fanfare, it's incredible. It's an amazing feeling. It's an amazing thing to be a part of. And I love them. I love them. Okay. If these niggas fucking, let these niggas fuck. If they not fucking, don't let, they not fucking. You know what I'm saying? Like that, that's just gonna be it. Okay. That's just gonna be it. But I wanted to look at their synastry just because I didn't really know too much about them. Like I had to look into Assad and his work. Are all talented actors. They're all super, super talented. But I wanted to just see like what their dynamic would be, astrologically. So let's look into it, y'all. If y'all fuck with me, keep watching. Y'all fuck with me? Okay. So we have let me pull it up. Okay. So I've just like zoomed in a little bit so that you guys can see. Let me know if this is too much. Actually, this is a little bit too much for me. Let me just zoom out really, really quickly. Okay. Alrighty. All right, so in the blue is going to be Assad, and in the red is going to be Eric Bogosian. Okay, and let me see. So these niggas got a lot of squares. These niggas got a lot of squares, but squares are, yes, they are difficult, but they're opportunities to grow. They're opportunities to rise to the occasion and to, you know, make the most out of their situation and to, really put that work in to have a good outcome. And what really is so funny is that they're both Taurus suns. They're both Taurus suns. Like they both have a self-expression. They both have an ego that is ruled by Venus. So that makes sense why they're both very interested in like the arts. They're really interested in, literature. They're both interested in being on top of a stage. Like Venus it's about love, it's about beauty, it's about, the intellectual nature of human nature, like wanting to understand the beauties of life and the facets of life that could be, put on the stage and that could be reveled and could be understood to be this level of beauty and dedication, like good drinking, like having like I think about Venus as like the Victorian era, like having a stage, having the gesture, having the people crowding around, having, drinking wine, drinking like having grapes, eating like a very like joyous kind of just luxurious energy. That's what I think about Venus. And to have it on the sun, like they're very like they understand the value of materials. They understand the value of material wealth and knowledge and the like this could be someone that really is into like fragrances or somebody that's really into like interior design, like the beauty, like the small intricate details that you're just like this is all coming together to make a beautiful experience, like somebody that's really into like linens, like the fine linens of life, or somebody that's really into like artesian liquor, artesian cheese. Like they just have a heightened tune for elegance and quality. Like I love that. I love Taurus suns. I'm a Taurus rising. I love it. I love Taurus energy. I love Venus energy. It's just like, ugh, let me go. Like, who's gonna feed me some grapes, nigga? Like, that's how I feel about it. But the fact that they're both Taurus suns, super, super cute. And um, wait, let me see. Okay, yeah, super cute. Super, super cute. So Assad has his sun in Taurus conjoined to his Mercury in Taurus. And this is actually his Mercury in Taurus is conjoined to Eric's sun in Taurus. So they both have, this intellectual understanding of each other. Like they both are like, okay, I have a love and appreciation for the arts. And it's so interesting because Eric also, he has his Mercury in Aries, but it's also conjoined to Venus. So again, like this Venusian element comes up again of like having a deep understanding and a deep appreciation for the beauties, intricacies of beauty, the facets of literature and media and how it's interwoven, and actually being like a student of literature, actually being a student and wanting to learn like Plato, having like a philosophy. But it's so interesting because um I don't know if you've looked at Eric Bogosian's past. He did a lot of like theater. They both have a theater background, but Eric Bogosian particularly was very famous for his one-man stand-ups and one-man acts. And what he would do is that he would basically perform solo acts, and he would take on and embody these different roles and these different people. And a lot of the people that he embodied were kind of like misfits, right? They're kind of um arrogant and loud, outspoken and nasty, but in a way he did it in like this charming way that made you kind of like the character. Like it's like, oh, this nigga is crazy, but like I kind of know what he's saying. And people really, really, really admired him for his dedication to these roles, because it's like, oh, yeah, they're like, this nigga's kind of an asshole, but he's kind of right. Like he's kind of true. And that makes so much sense with Eric having this Aries energy, like having this deep desire for like, individuality. And Aries is like the I am. It's very self-serving. It's the first sign of the zodiac. So being like literally solo man shows, and to show his appreciation for the arts, but in this way that shows his own individuality, his own, Aries like take on it, like being very bold and very outspoken. Like having this Mars ruled Mercury makes someone very like, they could be kind of boisterous, like very just, I'm here, I don't care, this is what I'm gonna say. I think he's from Massachusetts, and they like East Coast people. East Coast people, they gonna say what they want to say. Like they're not pussy. They're not pussy. Okay. And the fact that it's in Aries, he just like speaks with this sense of just like self-confidence. Like he says things, and his voice is so like deep, and he speaks in a way that you have to listen. Like he has a very authoritative voice. And with the Mars ruled Mercury, it's like you are the leader. You are somebody that people look towards, like, okay, what's he saying? What direction do I need to go? And the fact that it's conjoined to his Venus, like this is what he appreciates. He appreciates and values Martian things. He appreciates going after whatever in life. He appreciates hard work. He appreciates being bold. He appreciates just like kind of ramming ramming his way through life. Um and his Mercury in Aries is conjoined to Assad's Venus. Hmm. Y'all seen a pattern? Hmm. Hmm. They have a very understanding intellectual relationship that is very like they're very forward thinking, very, very artistically inclined, intellectually driven relationship. And that's a really, really amazing thing. Like they both have a deep appreciation for each other's thoughts and values. Like they could really like bounce ideas off of one another. And that's a great aspect for having a partnership with anybody, whether that's romantic, platonic. In this case, this is just amazing for working with somebody in like this acting arena, because you both have this like vitality and this vigor to just like go after ideas, go after certain roles, and like, oh yeah, let's do this, or should I do this? Like they both have this understanding of like wanting to go after things and do it kind of just like very confidently and very boldly. Like great rapport. They probably have really great conversations pertaining to the work that they do. um and Assad, because oop, and because Daniel. Ah! And because and because Eric's Mercury is on his Venus, like I think that could look like Assad really having like a deep appreciation for his intellect. Like Assad looks at him sort of just like a teacher of, or in a sorts, like a teacher of this craft that they are in, like this passionate teacher, and they both have this deep understanding for passion. And I think that that could really influence Assad a lot, especially as it pertains to how he moves forward in acting. I think that would be really, really amazing. Okay. Oh my God. And you know what's so cute? Assad and I both have a Mars in Pisces. Evil twin, evil twin. That's so crazy. My one of my favorite astrologers, Charlotte Astrology, she calls Mars in Pisces, or Mars with Neptune, the hooker Mars. So we here, Assad, we here. Mars and Pisces could look like, okay, so Pisces energy is boundless, right? And it being in this, in Mars is our passions, it's our motivation, it's, you know, our sexual drive, and it's in a boundless sign like Pisces that can have boundless emotions, boundless drive to fortify and go after their goals. They have boundless emotions. They have boundless anger. You know, this could be someone that could be really, really angry one moment and really, really happy one. Like their emotions are kind of, they're fluid, right? Because it's mutable Mars. Like this is somebody who can, um, they can, this is really great for acting as well. Any Pisces element is really great for acting because they're able to mutate their emotions and mutate their actions, and um act and believe like to be somebody else. And the fact that Assad has that, like he is just an amazing, 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 amazing actor. But this could also be someone that's just like super driven by the arts, because Pisces is like, you know, metaphysical. It's like empathetic, it's dreams, it's passion. So whatever dreams and goals that he had, like let's say he was an actor, whatever, if he wanted to be a doctor, this could give someone like immense drive to go after their goals. Mars and Pisces can be a little bit directionless in a way, but if it's aspected right and aspected well, that can give them just like a more like grandiose aspect to their motivation. Like they're like, okay, well, I'm gonna figure it out. Like I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do something. Something got to pop off, and I could definitely see that with Assad. So another thing that was really crazy to me is that they both have Aquarius North nodes, and it's so interesting because I mean they're not born, you know, in the same same year or close to that. I mean, Eric is what, 71 and Assad is 34. So the fact that they both have an Aquarius North node, I believe that Jacob Anderson has an Aquarius North node. The patterns keep patterning. Ciao. But they were both, you know, destined to bring some sort of like um individuality or uniqueness to the collective and to their collective spheres, which is, you know, their audience, right? Like the Leo Aquarius axis, they both have audiences. They're just in different facets. Aquarius is like this, you know, this leader of a rebel force. Um and the fact that they both come from Leo South nodes, like they both were probably very prominent figures, they're probably famous in their past life. And in this life, they're supposed to, you know, do a lot more scenes, like do more behind the scenes work. And I know that Eric has done some things, like he's a writer, he's done some screenplays, he's done things for other people. So that is completely on bar. He might even just like have a lot of writing credits in the next season, you know, we never know. But the fact that they both have this Aquarian North node, it's like they both were destined to add something to the collective, and they have with this show. I mean, this show is literally like groundbreaking. The show is like the fact, like I watch the show and I'm just like, this is not real. Like this this is not real. Like the fact that we got two gay vampire niggas, like I'm like, we won. Like we literally won. Like that's so crazy. And to think about the strides that we've had to go through in media and in the entertainment industry, and that we have like this multifaceted cast in this like metaphysical sense. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, especially like really highlighting homo focused relationships and their dynamics and how it gets messy, and it's weird, it's different, but it all comes back to this core of like wanting to be loved and, you know, wanting to be validated. It's just the show is just crazy. Like, oh my god. And the show is crazy. Like, it's really crazy. um, let's see, what else do they have? Do, 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 do. And then we're gonna like get to like the little crazier aspects, but and they're just, we'll get into it. But then Eric has his Mars conjoined to Assad's sun. Hmm. Hmm. Chemistry? Question mark? Hmm. Hmm. He might just see like Assad like, oh, that's a handsome young man. Like, I'm just speaking because y'all was trying to chew me up. But I'm like, listen, we all have thoughts, we all have feelings, we don't have to act on them. But Mars, Sun, Synastry, hey, hey, hey. And then it's so crazy because Eric has his Mars conjoined to Jupiter. I don't really know his past or his history. I mean, this could look like someone that gets a lot of financial opportunities, a lot of financial benefits from their passions, like going after their passions, their material passions. And the fact that he is a Taurus sun, like going after the things that gives him a sense of self-expression, and the material plane, like getting into acting, getting into writing, like all of these very like tangible means gives him opportunities, gives him abundance, but it also because Mars is Mars is our peenie, Mars is our wee wee. It could like look like he is somebody that because like Jupiter, Jupiter expands everything it touches, right? But that can also like just because it expands, that could lead to, you know, overindulgence, or it could lead to a little bit of hedonism. And the fact that it's in Taurus, like maybe he's somebody that, you know, has a gambling addiction or sex addiction or food addiction, like something that is superly overinflated, right? And it's Mars. So like someone that really goes after their passions, but if they're passionate about food, if they're passionate about, food and drink, if they're passionate about money, like this could be someone that's like super, super money hungry or super, someone that's super motivated by money, to the point of excess where it's just like, girl, relax, and those are just possible. That doesn't mean that it's fact. Those are just what I'm seeing. Those are interpretations that I could possibly get into. Who knows, babe? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But it's so interesting because they are different ages, but there is like, and it shows it shows the differences that they bring to this dynamic, and I think that that will really highlight the differences that Armand and Daniel have, um that will bring them closer together, bring them a little spice, like squares give us like tension. Like if we have a relationship with somebody and we have a square with them, that might look like, like enemies to lovers type trope. Like they're just, I you like, oh my god, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. And then you're just like, what else do we have? Like we both have one thing we have in common is our our dislike for each other. Like what else could that be? Like, hey, hey, hey. I know that Eric was saying that he's doing a lot that he hasn't done before in his acting career with this show. Like it's really expanding his acting abilities and his comfortabilities. And that could leave someone feeling like kind of vulnerable and kind of, uncomfortable, especially, I mean, I don't know like their, what their preferences sexually or their sexualities. But I think even if you were straight and you were filming a gay scene with another man, it's gonna make you confront certain things about you, and you're like, okay, yeah, this is work, but you're still gonna be like, all right now. And this show is very like this show is very horny. Like this show is very sexual. Like I don't know why the girls are like, "Oh my god, why are y'all getting into their life, their private life?" I don't know what goes on in their private life and I don't need to know. Okay? This show is mad horny. And it's that way by design. And in the fandom, we mad horny. Hey, I didn't make the show. I would like to see it. That's all I'm gonna say. I would like to see it. Okay, so Daniel has his Uranus in Cancer. Uranus in Cancer, that could look like um because Uranus brings like chaos. Uranus is it's the innovator. It's somebody that is like the trendsetter, somebody that starts something new before everyone else does, like the trendsetter, like I said. But that doesn't always come like with ease. It's pretty chaotic. Like it doesn't mean it's necessarily good or it's necessarily bad. It's just it's in this like gray area of innovation. Innovation doesn't always come readily with appreciation. Like when people were introducing, new technological advancements, they were like, "Oh, girl, you're crazy. Like we good with what we have here." And then it added to everyday life and um it gave us more options, right? It gave more jobs, but we couldn't have had that level of innovation without transition, without ideas, without thinking outside the box, and that's what Uranus is. And whenever Uranus touches a planet, it can kind of add like a little bit of chaos and upheaval. Um, and with Assad having his Chiron conjunct Uranus, I feel like unconsciously that could look like Daniel. I keep saying Daniel now. That could look like Eric, like kind of strumming up some core wounds around like security because Cancer is home. It rules the fourth house. It rules, that's where we go. We find our comfort. That's, um, our safe haven. Supposedly, that's our roots. That's our lineage. Um, and I feel like Eric can kind of bring some like complexity to that, complexity to his emotions, complexity to his own understandings of his emotional processing. And with it conjoined to Jupiter, I feel like Assad could definitely be somebody that has wounds around emotions, being emotional. And even the fact that this is trining his Mars and Pisces. I feel like acting gives him a way to kind of like express and to experience his emotions, right? Because he is a man, and due to patriarchy, when you experience and you express certain emotional reactions, you get rejected, you get punished, right? We're supposed to look at men as like this strong macho figure, but then when you don't rise up to the societal role and you express yourself differently at that, like wanting to be in the arts, wanting to be someone that is an artist, that is into literature, that wants to paint, wanting to be someone that wants to do something different from what the family expects of you, that could be very, very painful. That could be very painful. But it's crazy because with it conjoined to his Mars, it's like Mars is our motivator. But if we are motivated we are motivated by our emotions to get past them and to go after our passions, we get abundance with Jupiter right there. I feel like this could be someone like he could definitely like long for his own family, if not like really want to cement himself within his own family. But there is like a kind of wound there. But Chiron is the wounded healer. Over time we gain tools on how to navigate with the wounds that we have and that we've accosted throughout life and over time. And I think Eric kind of shakes that up a little bit, shakes it up, but or because It's conjunct Chiron. The energies pretty much play out in a positive way. I think that maybe Assad like acts in a way, and because Eric is like, okay, I have my own understandings about how I process my emotions. It kind of feels like comforting in a way, but it's still kind of still a little uncomfortable. Still a little uncomfortable. And what's so interesting is that Eric has his moon in Virgo, and it's conjoined to Lilith, but we're gonna ignore that because whoa. I don't really know much about his mom, but moon conjoined to Lilith, that can look like kind of like a tyrannical mother or, you know, child. And with Virgo moons, the thing about it is like Virgo moons are not like superly emotional people. Like they're not like overly outwardly emotional. Like because their moon sign is ruled by Mercury, they more so process their emotions through writing, through literature, through art. And I think that that's something that Eric has adopted. I mean, even think about like Nicki Minaj, like we didn't, and of course, like you grow and you learn to process your emotions. But a lot of Virgo moons, they could have come from like like critical mothers, and in turn they become very self-critical, and the way that they process their emotions isn't by saying like, "Oh, you did this to me. This is how I feel." Maybe they'll write you a letter, maybe they'll write a song. Like this is opposing the Piscean energy. Like Virgos are very very creative. They're very very creative. They just do their creativity and they express their creative nature in a different way as opposed to Pisces, but they're very, 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 very creative. Think of Beyonce, think of Michael Jackson. Like they're mutable, like, mutable earth. Like they can literally like transform the physical plane, like transform their thoughts into the physical reality. Like they are amazing alchemists. I love Virgos. Mwah. I love you, Virgos. It's just not when y'all get to being nitpicky and stuff. But it's okay because we need that. Sometimes we need to get nitpicky a little bit. Um, so I mean, even with Assad, he has a Scorpio moon conjoined to Lilith and Pluto. This could look like also having a pretty controlling mother, a mother that had a lot of, you know, because like Scorpio moons are already deep and intense and kind of like repress their emotions. But with even that, it's in the ruler sign Pluto. It's conjoined to their Scorpio moon. That's like Pluto, like whenever Pluto touches something, it deepens and intensifies that area, that planet. So the moon, like Pluto conjoined to our moon, like that's intense, deep, deep, deep emotions. Intense emotions from childhood, from the mother, from, upbringing. Um and I mean, I looked at his family. They are immigrants from Bangladesh. So that doesn't always necessarily have to like pan out to someone that's like straight abusive or emotionally abusive. That could be just like a mother, like immigrant parents. They're gonna be like, oh, where you trying to go? No, you can't go there. I don't know their parents. Like immigrant parents are very much like they want to cover their children from the world. And I get it because they're coming from a place and they want their kids to succeed and they want them to do good and they want them to excel and they don't want them to get corrupted by the world and by Western society. I completely get it. My mom is Jamaican. I get it. um but that can be a lot on a kid. That can be a lot, especially Scorpio moons. Like Scorpio moons, that's a hard moon. That's a hard moon. Especially like this theme of like, oh, you want to act like, no, do what I tell you, and I think all the frustration and anger and passion that he pours into his projects really exemplify um his level of strength and determination. Like Scorpio placements are strong as fuck. They're strong. Like they have withstood a lot. Okay, they have withstood a lot, but what anchors them back, both of them, Eric and Assad, what anchors them both is their love of the arts, their love, like their passions. Like without these creative passions, who knows? Like who knows what they would have done? And there's a reason why they've been brought to play out these characters in this way and like learn each other, learn their differences that they have because they have some differences now. They got some differences. Like they got they got Chiron opposite Neptune. Ciao. They got Moon square Mars. Um, sorry, I just got a text. Huh? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? They have Jupiter square Moon. Uranus, Neptune square Mercury. You know, they just have different communication patterns. They have different philosophies. They just have different philosophies. Like, I feel like this gives me, yeah, and even Mercury square. Let me see. Yeah, Jupiter square Mercury. Mm. Very, very different of understandings and they're very different communication styles. But that can add to the tension, you know, like they bring that, like even in the show, you know, Eric was or Daniel's character was always like very very, very he was very keen on understanding like Assad is or he was very keen with the lies that he was trying to uncover with Armand. He was like, this nigga is lying. They trying to get over on you, Louis. Like you're not peeping game. And this looks like, you know, somebody that has they both have a very deep understanding of the arts, but they have gone about it in different ways. You know, they have different thought patterns, they have different emotions. I even even with like their this Mars opposite moon, I feel like maybe Assad can be very like very um outwardly expression like overly expressionist with his emotions, and that can kind of like rub Eric the wrong way because he's like, what are you doing? Like, why are you acting like that? But then it kind of adds to this like cat and mouse game of like, why are you doing this? Oh my god, that's so annoying. But then it's also like, ugh, that's how he is. Like, you know, like there is a deep level of respect, but there's difference in beliefs and how to process emotions. I feel like even with all of this Mars and Pisces, you know, Scorpio moon, like Assad is a very, very when I say emotional, that's not a negative. Like he is a very passionate person and he's okay with expressing his emotions, whereas Eric may not be. Eric may not be someone that's overly and outwardly and overtly emotional. Like he's passionate and he places his passions into other things, but he's not going to be like, "Oh my god, I want to do this," and "Oh my god, this is how I feel." Like he's going to be like, "Okay, yeah." He's like very stoic, like, "Yeah, okay. I'll show my passions in my art. And that's what you'll get from me." Like they're both Tauruses. They're both like very chill and laid back, but I mean with Eric, you know, he wants to take the passive approach with the Saturn and Libra, and it's squaring off with Assad's Saturn and Capricorn. Like they have different approaches to how they view authority and how they want to, you know, place their own rules on themselves. Like that's it's cardinal. Like they both want to initiate and they want to take action, but you know, Saturn and Libra, that's more of like, okay, yeah, do what you want to do. And you know, Saturn is in its ruler sign in Capricorn. So it's like, go listen to me, bitch. Like but it's so interesting because, Eric has his Capricorn in his Chiron in Capricorn, conjunct Assad's Saturn in Capricorn. So this could look like, Eric kind of having some wounds around um success, around recognition, because Capricorn rules the 10th house. That's the area of like public perception, that's career, that's lineage. Like not feeling like he's been, you know, on the receiving end of recognition. I mean, he's been acting for a while. He's been acting for so long. And I think that, with Assad's Saturn here, he's kind of like they're both malefics, but they're both comforting each other like, hey, yeah, we understand hard work. We understand what it means to thrive in this business and to go after our goals. We know how hard it is. And he kind of gives him that recognition, like, no, nigga, you that nigga. Like, I can definitely see him like, you are amazing, And it just kind of like comforts that Chiron a little bit. But I mean, child, they got some squares. Capricorn, Neptune, squaring Chiron. They have some squares. But, because they have differences, that doesn't mean that they're going to fight necessarily, or that means that they're just bad people. No, that adds to the complexity of their dynamic, and it's going to play out in the characters that they're going to play, and, Assad has his Mars of Pisces. He's just like, girl, I'm going to fuck. um, I mean, their Marses, they play out pretty well, Their sextile Mars. It doesn't show it on here, but could be real cute, real cute and steamy. I think that, and plus Eric he's old school. He's old school New York, get out the mud. Performing like, no, I don't think he was a street performer, but like that thinking of like, I'm gonna get out the mud, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna do this. They just have very different approaches to art and how they exemplify their understandings of art. Like literally teaching old dogs new tricks and new dogs old tricks, like they're both shedding and sharing each other their own perspective on the world. And we're gonna see what's going on with the season 3. We're gonna see what's going on with that. I'm trying to see what that's gonna be like. But yeah, this is it, you guys. Because a lot of the squares are just like generational planets, and I mean they have squares to their communication and values. So difference in value, different communication, which can add a little bit of friction. It can add to a little bit of frustration, but can also add to their own levels of personal growth and their own willingness to add to their relationship and the dynamic. And what's so interesting, what's so interesting is that these two have an Aries Venus, and Sam and Jacob have Aries Mars. Like I said, this show was just mad horny. Just mad horny. Everyone is just very, very complex, and they're compatible in their own way. And I mean, it shows in the show. I couldn't have asked for a better show. I love this show so much, and I'm hoping that you guys love this reading. Who else should I look into? I had really, really fun. Let me know if I missed something with their synastry that you want me to look back on. And as always, if you want your own personal synastry reading, your own birth chart reading, your own solar progression chart, please let me know. Make sure to email me at goldenflamehealing@gmail.com and let me know how y'all thought about this video. Was it spicy or not? Alrighty, y'all. Have a great day. Make sure that y'all just be amazing. Make sure y'all be amazing and tell me how y'all liked it. Alrighty. Have a great one. Bye, y'all.